go.
Oh, they're already in there.
Yep.
I'm just going to pull this up a little more, slip down. She moved it.
Yes.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, let me get in here. It's windy here.
Well, y'all be getting some snow soon, right? So.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, guys. Thank you for waiting.
Let's see here.
Keep that light going so we get through it without crashing.
We'll see. Let's see here. Okay, we're good. Woohoo! We are here.
I wonder how everyone's feeling with this eclipse going on. How y'all feeling?
Okay. Good now. Okay. Let's see what happens tonight. So we can start into some of this energy that we've been dealing with. So I was reading, or I was listening to a video, and I sent it to you last night about that we cannot no longer function in this energy the way we did before because of the way it feels. Their reality is not our reality, so we're not interacting with that in the same way as we have before. So you steer away, just like you steer away from negative energy. I'm sorry, my camera is just making me mad right now. Hold on. 1 second here.
Take your time.
It is flipping out. There we go. Okay, that's better.
The tech today, I tell you. All the tech.
So anyway, on how you function through that and how you recognize that you're not supposed to interact with that and you can't learn from anything from it, and you don't, your whole system, your spiritual system, your whole body is like, nope. And so you kind of get into that process as it's just not a priority, and you're not giving it attention where it would trigger you before. Now it's just, it's not there. It's almost like it's not there. And that's the whole reality of the 3D just falling apart, and they're living and walking in that reality, and you're not, and we're not. And so we're focused on the future and seeing that path and seeing all of that created and developed, and that's where your focus is at, versus the crumble state that they are trying to hold up a reality that's no longer there and they can't see it. We're in a calm state of looking at it and walking through it very clearly. It was weird because I went to Walmart, and when I'm walking through Walmart, and it just feels like, not, people are not really interacting with each other. They're just separated. This is what has changed, if you haven't noticed, since, when we walk through the grocery store, with our grandparents and all that stuff. People really interact with each other. They know each other. And it's just like programs, zombies. There's nothing. It's, they almost feel like they're there by themselves, and they're there to serve themselves on every manner of it and everything. So you see a lot of that process happening all the time. And that's that, like the post I did, 3 years ago. It shows the path of the 5D and the path of the 3D. And 3D is all the red, control, and darkness. And the 5D is key to the abundance and the golden age and the golden path. And that's where we're turning, and we're going towards that direction. And our attention, how we are spiritually, is shifting and completely going in another direction of things. So, and so you kind of want to pay attention how in society that you are reacting in that way or you're not. And that's the whole thing. But you're seeing the 3D, and they get triggered and affected by every little thing. This is the thing that one of the biggest triggers you're seeing. Now, normally when a cop pulls you over, probably 20 years ago, you give them your ID, you give them your license, and you give them the information. And it makes it easier just to get through it. They don't do that anymore on the let's say the liberal side. It's like, guess what? It's conflict time. I'm going to make sure that when you write that ticket, you have the hardest time writing that ticket. And also I'm going to preach the law to you so we can drag this out, or I have to go to jail. And it takes over the anger,
Yeah.
The anger takes over. And they're probably wrong. And there's just simple tickets, something out, but they're freaking out. And then they're all of a sudden they're going to jail. And the reality of like, what do you mean I'm going to jail? Yeah. Hello. The lights are not on. They're so narcissistic in their delusion, in their reality, that none of this is going to happen. And then when it does, they cry, emotional breakdown. I'm just telling you, that's that horrendous, it's my way. It's supposed to work my way. I've been taught that it's my way, and all I have to do is act a certain way to get it my way. So, and those are the same ones, these protesters are in front of the cars. Eventually, you're going to get hit by a car because that's the way it works, but that's what I'm saying. We're really disconnecting and going a different way. And like Elon Musk says, make asylums great again. They're going to have to.
People keep acting. Yeah.
Yeah. They keep acting this way and they're not stopping. So it's the divide is here. It's not when. And this is the thing too. Everybody's asking about the arrest and all this stuff. And like, there's so many judges that are being arrested. There's so many lawyers are being arrested, and and no one believes it. And like all this stuff, I mean, at that levels is happening now, but those higher levels have already happened a long time ago. Like they want to know about the Epstein list and all that. I mean, most of them are already gone and they're arrested. And the military charges, tribunals have been, I mean, I can't wait till we get to that process where they can see the charges at the end, when they were prosecuted, when they were hung, because I think their choices were, basically being hung at Guantanamo Bay for the charges of against humanity. And then they had life sentence. I think those are the only two. There wasn't much more in between those that you were going to get.
Surprised they gave them a choice.
I know.
They're lucky.
But I mean, because they turned information on some of them on stuff. Because I have seen on some of them, when turned information, they got a life sentence. I think Miley Cyrus got a life sentence. No, she got. But they're going to have the list out anyway once they actually watch them, see it happen, and then go to the whole process of that. So And that's the thing that people are thinking. You look at the list and then they're like, well, when are they going to be prosecuted? They already were prosecuted. This was already prosecuted. Most of the stars have been prosecuted. Most your government officials have been prosecuted. Not even the ones they have showed you yet. So that's the concept there, is you have the 5D that knows what's going on. We've already gone past this process. And then the 3D is like, when they're going to get prosecuted. This is the thing that me and you were talking about, is the younger generation is paying attention to the list.
Yeah.
They are pushing it out there. They are asking about it. Then you got the liberals. No, not going to acknowledge it. That is demonic. That's so demonic. These are kids.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. It's really bad. Just ludicrous bad. So I got to get the young ones, at least they're listening, they're exposing it, they're paying attention to it, they're putting it out there. But you got this mid-level, that's what I'm like, there's not enough uproar about it. There's still not enough at that stage of being completely pissed off and mad and wanting to hunt them down. It's still at a light stage on this. I just can't believe that. So, I mean, there are societies that are gearing up on that, but the thing is, I just like, wow. No heart, no soul, no compassion, no love for these kids. So, everybody's wondering about the divide. It's already here. You're seeing it every day, the divide of it, of the reality of it. And then you're getting down to these laws that you have the ones that are standing up to the laws and saying this is not, we are not the corporation no more. We're not paying into the corporation. We're not doing anything in the corporation. We're not abiding in the corporation. And you got the ones that are like, this is the program. We got to follow by it. No, we're not doing that no more.
Right.
We're not doing it anymore. So there's that divide too, with everything too. So, and then this is the thing, people need to get it in their head. Putin, whatever vessel that is. Trump, whatever vessel that is. China, whatever vessel that is. And there's other regions. They're all vessels. Are they the original vessels? No. We've said that from the beginning. No. But are they working together? Yes. And then you get these questions. Is there war? There can't be war in this process to going into the golden age. There cannot be a war. There's only one last war, which is the Holy Land, which is the final war, which is a spiritual war that's coming. It's here. So you have to stop dividing that and putting that together in the 5D. You can process it in the 3D and look at it that way, but you want to start looking at this 5D process of this is a collective together, working as one. Not, and this is the thing, everybody's eyes is on Putin, what he's done. Remember, I told everybody, keep an eye, because he's going to do something that's going to save the world. And he saved those kids, and I don't think that's the end of it. That's not the end of it. And just like Trump, he saved the kids. He saved the kids. They don't want to hear that. You bring that up and they go, he's on the list. Why is he on the list? Why is that Trump on the list? Why? Can't ask those questions. They don't want to think about that. So the whole process is you have to not confuse yourself. Start looking at 2 dimensions on this. 5D, 3D. You know the information from 5D. You know the reality on 3D. If you separate those, you're not going to be confused by it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to mix it all together, it's going to mess your head up. And that's what they want.
Yes. They want to keep
That's
everyone
what they want.
confused and separated.
Right. That's the whole thing.
Mhm.
So, and that's what I'm saying. If you separate them in realities in the way they're presenting it, and you know how this is running, and you're following the casting show that's going on
Mhm.
here, and they understand that because we know that's not Putin. Come on, that's not the original Putin. Look, come on,
No.
guys. So you got to look at all this stuff, and the way things are. I mean, there's signs that were there a long time ago. You know, it's going to be really great when they come out with all the people that are really alive, and everybody thought they were dead.
Right.
I wonder what
Yeah.
the liberals are going to say then. What do you think?
Who knows? They'll probably say they're the fake ones. I don't know. I'm not sure. But
All I know is there's going to be some damn good music now.
oh, no kidding.
Yeah, awesome music now. Hold on, let me grab my drink. Yeah, so but so yeah, so when all that comes out, I mean, that's going to be amazing on that process. It'll be great. It'll be great. Don't you
Oh
think?
yeah. Oh yeah.
All those really good musicians that just disappeared that you're just
That would
like,
be awesome. Yeah. Especially if they do it at the big celebration. That would even be more
oh
awesome.
my goodness.
You know, just have them all come out.
Yeah. And so so that's what I'm saying on this reality. You just stop yourself in the middle and go, 3 days over there, 5 days over here. What are we going to look at today? This is because that's what you look at your government's breaking down the same way. You got your
Right.
old government in Congress breaking this stuff down, and you know half the stuff has already been done, what they're doing, but it's part of the presentation. Then you got this other side over here that's accumulating and creating the Board of Peace.
Mm-hmm.
That you know it's already implemented with behind money and all that stuff. And you got the old money that's falling apart that the silver paper doesn't want you to know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then when that crumbles, the XRP sits straight up. That's the whole thing. That's why they're so confused. And that's why if you guys look at this in two different views, you are not going to be confused by this because you are in the middle of two breakdowns. One starting, one ending. And that's what's messing people up. They're wanting to, you know, and weave it together, and it's not working in that process together. It's not ever going to. I think when we go back to the Q and the real story, whenever this started, I mean that's a movie on its own of when this all started, the white hats, JFK, all that stuff, senior. When he started all this, I mean that alone, that process of how this was executed accurately, quiet war, is going to be interesting to relieve all the people of those tiny little questions they didn't understand what was going on with the government and everything else. I mean, they're finally showing on, I saw it today, I don't know if it was Real Raw News, but showing the charges with your California governor.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember, was it 2 years ago when they showed his house and the stairway down where they kept children. And I knew that was then when they took him and seized him, but now they're showing that he's been executed. And it's right there in your face. It's right there, but they don't want to see it because they think it has to be fed to them in a different way, and it doesn't. You just got to search and you will find the truth.
Yes.
So,
You are.
so that's the thing. You guys have to look at this. New scum is right.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the scum? So, um, the puke buckets are going to have to get pretty big here soon because they're not understanding. So I think what's coming is a more of a video process of the story behind it, because they just have the list and they're releasing some small tapes. And this is what I've said about this. I do not think the Epstein list that is the big thing. I think there's something bigger,
Mm-hmm.
that's thicker, that they haven't even showed you.
Right.
I think this is just the outer layer of things.
Right.
I mean,
And it's bad, but there are worse things. And I think in their way, they're dripping it out so people
yeah.
don't freak out. I mean, they're freaking out now a little bit, some of them, but we have to see
Well,
it
I think
anyway.
was an island that they just seized because it was one of the islands they did the hunting parties on too.
Okay.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of activity of, I mean, um, um, so yeah, this whole process of this playing out in realities of looking at it, and how you're going to look at it today is going to change how you're going to look at it tomorrow. But you have to
Mm-hmm.
break it down in sections, because if you put it all together, you're going to confuse yourself in this situation. So that XRP process, as you're seeing, is getting ready to ring the bell on that as it goes up. Like I said years ago, that's going to go straight up, and then everything crashes, and that's what you're already seeing set forth. That's coming. That crash is coming.
Right.
So I'm going to take some questions, and I'll go into some of this download.
Okay. Let's see. We've got a bunch already. I knew there was one about the island. Hold on. So we heard that there are even more files coming out. Also, will this unleash the other islands, say in Canada?
Yep.
So we're looking at like a domino effect. This is the start.
Yes.
They're all going
Yes.
down. Okay.
And that's the whole thing. I'm thinking Epstein Island. If you think that's just the door opening and showing you, but that's, you give a demon a playground to play in. Their mind is warped. They sit back and think of things to do, and just it's a crazy playground.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have made money on feeding that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fantasies are sick and demented and unhuman to process and think of.
Here's another good one. What happens to the children who are born into this? The smaller ones, will they be okay? Are the medbeds healing and clearing their minds? And are they human?
Some were, but we know that when the Mercy ship went during COVID, they took a lot of those projects out, and some of them, the children couldn't be near sunlight or have ever seen it. And I believe when they had that big pit, you saw all those bodies, and they said it was COVID, and it was not COVID. It was from the underground systems that they had to put massive grades together and bury them.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting how they showed that, and then they were saying, "Oh, it was from COVID," but you could tell that they were children.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell they were children. Plus all the boxes and diapers and things like that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the whole thing is that reality of. I mean, then when that first started on that reality of that, and they went down under the cities and stuff like that, and saw that. Then it was the first layer of, when we got it in the United States, saw the reality of it, and people were down there. It's a different deal,
Mm-hmm.
concept of things, but um so now it's, that was the beginning layer, and now we're in a totally different layer on this stuff, and now we're into this of understanding why
Mm-hmm.
and what they were used for, and in details of documents and showing that. Now, how, again, this is, I'm going to suggest this in a way of being a behavior-based training process that I've come from. When they do start to show these, you have to just don't consume yourself with this, okay? You have to take this in dosages, and then, set yourself and make sure you're in a good place, and then go back in it, just to know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So silence, after all this comes out, it is going to make people go loco. And so Elon is telling you where they're going to end up, a lot of them,
Right.
on a certain level.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, I gotta word this right. A lot of people are going to check out because they can't handle it.
Right.
By self checkout. Let's just say that. Um, what happens to their soul if they do that?
So mentally check out, and they're not there. Well, that's a playground at that
Well, then
point,
they
because that's the
also
weakness of. Go ahead.
self checkout, meaning they leave by their own volition.
Yeah.
We can't say it on here, but
Yep.
so that soul, what happens to that particular soul if they do that?
The ones that were
Truly
partaking
self
in
checkout
events. Okay.
themselves. That
What I heard in my heart and my soul, and they said one drop, one child, they're done. There's no saving. Your soul has seen, witnessed, and was a bystander of witnessing and tasting that. You're done.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing but darkness for them. And that was the thing. To do what they've done, to go after the most innocent thing that God created, to hurt him, you're done. You're done in a different way. You're done, and you will be in a dark pit for a long time, and it'll never end for you. So the whole process of that is, this darkness. They're done, and you can't have remorse for these people. Sorry, they're not people. They don't have
Right.
souls. This is the thing. To get to a reality where they look at a child is not a child to them. It's food.
Right.
It's entertainment. They don't, they don't see it as a, and that's the thing that I think society is going to have to get prepared for. Predator in a totally different way.
Mm-hmm. And I think you're going to see those people who end up in those new asylums that show up because they can't handle it. And then you're going to get those
Right.
people who decide to physically check out on their own because they can't handle it. And like you said, the ending's not for everyone.
Mm-mm.
Nobody said that in
Yep.
the past. So we know the souls that have done the nasty stuff to these children, they can never get by with anything. But
Here or
what
in
about
the
those
next
people?
life, there is no saving.
Yeah.
And that's
But
why,
those souls that can't handle it, that leave.
right.
The
Okay, the
ones
ones that
that
can't handle it,
see
that
this and
leave.
witness it, and they
I mean, that goes
have.
puts you in a coma state. They go
Yep.
into just a, yeah, there's going to be a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
And, the normal process is put them on medication. It's still a problem in society. So there again with the med beds is a process on that too. But because I know some of these erased memory from these kids that have been through this.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm going to say this nationally because I have to be honest about this. When I was young, I was molested by a babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, explain something to you that I was such a young age that it blocks out some of that tragic process when they're that young. There was a blockage I had I couldn't remember. But there was glimpses later on in life that re-showed I couldn't get under a bunk bed, claustrophobic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's certain things that will get you to understand that. But I went through a healing process and understood what was going on. But anyway, everybody has their own process of dealing with things that are tragic like that. And
Right.
there's a way you have to come to an understanding.
All right. Yeah. Like you said, it's not for everyone.
Mm-mm.
Okay, let's see. AOC and Islams in New York City are talking about banning having dogs in homes. Can they really do this?
What?
And
What?
what do you see
What?
happening?
New York's going to be completely empty.
Right.
I mean, there's things in New York and all that stuff, and a lot of people have a lot of pets in New York and stuff like that too, and that's their comfort.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah, I'd be moving.
the real
Mm-mm.
animals are the public figures in the city. It's not the animals.
Right.
I mean, that's strange, but
Is it possible this is part of
I don't
the
think that guy's
show?
gonna last. I think they're gonna hunt his
Yeah.
ass down. He keeps doing what he's doing. He's not gonna be able to even leave his residence.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that he's coming up with and doing. But is that part of the show?
Right.
Is that part of the show, guys? The way the ludicrous, the way he's acting, is that part of the show that's supposed to happen? You voted for shit, you got shit. And you literally have shit on your streets now.
True. I saw that. Yeah.
New York's turning to Oregon. You don't care.
Not good. I think part of it's just to wake people up in a different way, not to everything, but in a different.
Well, yeah,
for that.
I think
That
it is, but
yeah.
I mean, his lawlessness, but I believe he's playing a part. I don't believe.
Mm-hmm.
In the whole situation. So they wanted this. They want, and you have to come to understanding what you voted for and not picking up your trash, leaving trash on the streets. You know how New York is. You can't really do that. Rats will form.
Mm-hmm.
But that gets them to wake up to reality. Now it affects them. This is your choice. Right. And then Wasn't his mother on the Epstein list or something on there too? So
I'm not sure.
yeah.
Wouldn't be
I
surprised.
mean, there's other countries that are, they're more waking up to this list and reacting in a massive march and hunting them down than the United States is right now.
Right.
They need to. There's to me, it's not enough. So I think until you stand up, until they come together and say as a collective, it's enough.
Mhm.
They're going to keep showing you more.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see. We really need this truthful information to get to people who watch TV for their news. Will 5D have real truthful news soon?
Yeah, and I know Trump mentioned something. I can't think of the newscaster. He got kicked off Fox, and I think Trump mentioned that that's the one they need to be watching. I can't think of his name. You guys, I know you guys know who he is.
Oh, I can picture him now, but I can't think of his
See,
name.
brown hair.
That's it.
See, come on, guys, chat. You know who it is.
Yeah, who is it, guys?
Come on, he had a great
Oh,
show.
goodness.
What's it been about a year they took him off?
Tucker Carlson?
Yes.
There we go. See, I did it. Okay.
Trump said that's one you keep an eye on and the documents he's coming out with and all that stuff. So that's the one you want to keep an
Okay. Thank you.
eye on.
Okay. Very good.
This Tucker. Yeah. So Trump even mentioned it too. So so he'll be releasing videos and information, we'll get into this process of this. Okay. Let's take one more question and we'll go down. We'll start with some of this.
Okay. One more sort of associated with the island stuff. A lot of posts on, I don't know if it's TikTok, about Michael Jackson, some about Neverland and how he built that to save the kids from that island. Do you see them that getting wind from the program coming out this year?
Yes.
We hear about okay.
Yeah, you're hearing more and more about it. And
yes.
Yeah. And so, and of course, when you're doing something good, the corporation goes against you and makes it look like their own self-reflection. And that's where you come into the lower Illuminati versus the upper Illuminati. The lower is saturated in darkness, and the upper was chosen in a different process. And a lot of people don't talk about them, but they part of everything that's going on too. So that's how they do it. It's all about having something on you, tricking you. Flesh needs, just like a demon does. What's your weakness? What's your fantasy? We can give into that, and then we're going to use it against you, show that you are a sick person. All I can say is hell is going to be really packed soon.
Well, I guess they're all just going to have to be friendly with each other, aren't they?
It was interesting. What was it, 10, no, 12 years ago. I had that dream. They were showing me an elusive dream, when they're saying, Jen, let me just show you this. And on the side, I'm looking at these walls, and it looks like hell, right, on each side of me. And I'm floating through this and just seeing it, because it was about viewing all of it, right? And it was overwhelming what I saw. But it wasn't, this fire thing that was going on. It was a different containment process. And as I'm going up, and then I'm seeing the light, and I'm seeing the energy change and explaining the process of what's going on the earth. I remember that energy changing, when you're to bear the witness of what's going on and understand this. And then, of course, in that energy, you're just enthused by how it feels and how familiar and what it does to your heart and how instantly your soul is like, let me just stay here. We're good. And they're like, and so it's one of those things that you wanted to see, but you didn't, because now you want that. But anyway, at that point, I was just, and I knew in my mind when they said, how long will it be? 1 second. That was weird. Okay. How long will it be before I can come back? Permanently. And it was like 24. And I knew at that moment, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. 24 means nothing, because it can mean several things. Dimensions. There's no timeline. What is it? But I remember the divide of it. The divide of how they divide the negative, how they contain it, and how it's never at peace. And heaven is peace.
Right.
And they should never have peace.
No, they shouldn't.
It was interesting.
Interesting story. Thank you for sharing. That was a good one.
Okay. We'll take one more and then we'll go into this download.
Okay.
Keep saying that and then we...
That's okay. Okay, when we see things in our head, for example, our humanitarian projects, does that mean it's done already, like a form of manifestation?
So, repeat that question again.
When we see things in our head, for example, our humanitarian projects,
right?
Does that mean it's done already?
Does that mean you chose it already? That means you already lined yourself up. Your soul lined yourself up with that already. Yes.
Okay.
It's already put into you of that path. And is it something you've done before and you're here again to complete or start again?
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Do you want to do some downloads or?
Okay, guys. This is, what's funny? Jeep will tell you. These 2 pages. So she's there to witness when I go through this, right? And do the downloads and just... That took what? 20 minutes?
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
20 minutes. Just boom. Because everything that is remembered from the past with these downloads, they just throw it in there and they mix it all together. So that's what you're getting tonight, is the way they see it unfold.
It's raw. Yeah. It's just however you said it is however it got written down.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, here we go. So why don't you start reading and I'll reference, because I went through it.
Okay.
You want to do that?
You just tell me to stop when you need to add.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Then, because I want, if you reference, then I can describe. Okay.
Okay. So as we're walking through the door, they show me walking through the fire. Everybody knows the breakdown is everything collapses, but they're not paying attention to the energy which we're getting right now. So we can go into that. What they're saying, which is, it's like there's a veil in front of us that we can't see yet. We can feel it, but we just can't see it.
You want to stop at that minute?
Okay.
We'll stop for it. Okay. So that's how we are in public right now. There's a veil. Everybody feels that you're sensing, you're feeling this, and the tiredness and the fatigue and all that stuff. But like, this ain't normal. This ain't normal. The way we're feeling and how we're interacting with things, it's not normal. Something's right there.
Mm-hmm.
I referenced Lucy a lot through this download, just so you know. It's a Lucy situation here. So it's how we're looking at it. So yes, the veil is right there. It's not the reality that we're in. It's the veil that we're waiting for. Okay, go ahead.
And there's pressure on our soul, but we're kind of halfway in a stasis. I think that's why we're going in a waving in and out stasis process that we're going through. Do you want to explain that to people, or?
Okay. So might be on the wrong page. I mean, I'm on the wrong page. Sorry. Okay, hold on.
The third one down.
Okay, feeling a heaviness, the energy of the veil on the other side fully showed the true colors. Is that the one you're on?
The third one. Nope. And there's pressure on the soul.
Okay, repeat that.
And there's pressure on our soul, but we're kind of halfway in a stasis. And I think that's where we're going with this waving in and out stasis process that we're going through.
Because we are moving consistently, the soul's moving consistently, and there's particles of breaking things down. In each moment, we're trying to figure out what is the reality of things. It's like you look at yourself and you think you're in this one world and this one process is happening, but it's not, because it's deteriorating in this process. But that's why I always reference step behind a plate of glass. Look at the view different. Don't connect your heart with it. Don't connect your emotion with it, because you're going to tell yourself this is the reality. Right now is not to do that in that process, because there's a breakdown that's happening. The veils are breaking down. Okay. So we are looking at perceiving the information differently and distancing ourselves from the 3D reality more and more every day. We are coming to a point that we know that is not reality anymore. It is a breakdown, like Lucy, turning the page and moving. Don't allow fear to control you. So that's the whole thing. And she's acknowledging, and this is in the movie too, acknowledging that everything is alive. You know, in the program when we were young, it's just like plants weren't alive, dogs didn't have souls, blah, blah, blah. You know, nothing was alive. Everything that grows from the ground, that is a seed of life that comes from the root of the ground and is through a cell, because plants have cells too, is alive. Well, and she's talking about that collective of hearing it all. And I get that the hearing and sensing that understanding is starting. Remember when I referenced about watching Lucy and some people got offended? That was insane. I was like, it's about the reference of the stuff in it. What she's telling you in the movie. Okay.
Right. It's a good movie.
Okay, go ahead and go to the next.
Well, I'm going to go up one because you missed one. Okay. You skipped one. This is important, though. This is walking through the fire, feeling the heaviness, the energy. The veil on the other side has not fully shown its true colors. Everything on this side is getting incinerated.
Yes. Walk through the fire. Is literally about walking through it and not fearing in something that you know that was a reality, but was not even working for you, was enslaving you. And now is a fresh start, a new world. And being completely balanced with that process. And that's what is referred to. And I did the picture on Instagram, is there's people behind me, you referenced very well, is that's what we're supposed to do. is to walk through that fire and say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, because when this is done, all the symbolism, all the corruption, everything's done. Start a new world in this process.
Right. Okay. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You're going to smell ash. Remember they talked about the ash, a black soot. I talked about that. I see that there's also going to be a smell in the air as well. So this is not a process of being in fear. This is a process of understanding the incineration of the old world.
There's a smell. And then I talked about, these black dust particles that are coming, and you have to ask yourself, is this a normal fire from a normal building? Is this from a soul? What is it that is incinerated?
Mm-hmm.
Evil cannot live in this new frequency, in this new world of enlightenment. It cannot survive. It'll be incinerated. So you ask yourself that question when you're smelling this or you're seeing this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not normal ash. It's incineration.
Okay. Thank you. They started digging up stuff in the Holy Land. That was the last war. We're in the days of the last war over the Holy Land. The rumble of the giants, because they said there will be a sound of the giants in the sky, or you will hear a deep voice within a giant's with a giant sound. That's what they're telling me.
Yes.
And this is all coming from the sky.
Right.
We'll hear it outside.
The sound, the frequency, and everybody's hearing sounds already, but this is a different, more of a vocal vibration that you're hearing. And again, the 3D, some people are not going to hear it. There's things, like you said, you're opened when you've done the work through your soul and accepted the change. And the thing is, the 3D people are shut down completely because their reality is like this is not there. Let me let her out.
It's okay. We love our puppies. We need to take care of our puppies.
So that whole reality of, so when they're digging in the Holy Land in the last war, we're in the days of the last war of the Holy Land, because that was always going to be, in the biblical terms, of the spiritual war.
Mm-hmm.
And they think it was all about man. And it was not just about man. It was angels against angels, and this is the thing. It's the warriors from the past have returned again through the vessels of the light. Again, they are here again. See, that's the hardest concept that people, you read it in the Bible since you were young, and all this stuff that was supposed to happen. And now we're in those end times, and they still this can't happen. We've been reading about this stuff, and now you're walking in it, and now it's happening all over. But it's not just, the war is not just with us. This is a heavenly war that was going to happen. And now that land is that last battle. That's the last battle.
Okay. Thank you. Continuing. And remember that there will be a blue star that appears. A blue star, not a white star. A blue one that represents the golden age.
That represents in the sky, and it has that blueness around the star that creates a new possibility. And that's what they always showed. And there's always a symbol of something creating that is, starting over. You know what I'm saying? There's always that symbolism and that creation that reminds us of that and creates of that. So that is something that was very important too, that we look to the stars and look for the new one to form.
Okay. I believe everybody that disappeared that did not have a home is underground now. The bums, I believe, they're living in the facilities underground being taken care of. That was especially California.
Yeah. Well, California, and they were just showing me all this disappearance of where they are, and I believe that if I were looking at this and you had the elite down there, and it's just a humble process, and you know that they have no shelter, and it's like, you know what? We cleared it out. Mansions are down there. They can help themselves. They can have everything they need, and that's where I believe they are. That's where they're disappearing to, and that's where they're taking them.
Okay.
The villages that are beneath, and I think that's the best place for them right now. Because they know how to create their own, they have their own society anyway among them. And they would be perfectly content, and I think they deserve that in that way. So I think that I just felt that when Trump was mentioned something about them, and I just saw that vision. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. I'm going to bring this in. Loosh is being suppressed to a certain percentage now. We have taken away their fuel.
Right. So all the black boxes, and now after I presented this on YouTube, now you're starting to see the story. The people are understanding those black boxes and what they were there for under the Vatican, all this stuff, people praying around it, what it was there to do, what it was there to take, and what it was there to suck dry. So now that loosh, once it's identified, this is the thing. When society had a denial stage of not knowing what it's for, that was the whole thing with anything that is demonic. It acts like something else, and you're thinking that it is something of the goodness. It cannot do that when you can identify what it is. Mm-hmm. It changes, that loose changes. And now that is coming to the light of understanding. So however the gods of Ra take that out, will be bearer of witness.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Quick question since it's up. Is the blue star the three-eye atlas?
Three-eye atlas is not alone. Okay. Just like anything else, it does not come alone. So, did it come first? To turn something on? Yes. So is there something more behind that in a fleet? Yes. Process.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. As you see, things are going to be in the sky. There are forms that you are not going to understand. And the sun changes to a brighter color. The real gold color, not this white bright.
Right.
The light bright that's up there.
Yeah, not the light that we hate that you know, but this is the yellow embracing every plant, every animal, everything that lives will turn to that sun and embrace that light. That's a totally different light.
Mm-hmm.
It's the yellow sun that we grew up on, not this neon light.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one of the, we had the pink fog, and that came, and you're seeing that on a consistent basis. You're still seeing it, and I said that. But now the sound and the light of the sun turning to a bright yellow that has energy that you recognize, your soul recognizes.
Okay, thank you. Quick question, the black boxes. Did they come from Saturn?
I haven't had to do remote view, see how they got here and how it was formed. I'm sure it was not formed from here. I think it was brought in.
Okay, thank you. Moving on. I feel like they're using their last chance. Remember, they're going to take as much as they can and as many of us as they can with them. So I feel the negative energy of what they have left is trying to throw that at us.
Yes. Okay. It's that last part of that loose. This is that last. I mean, you can see that it's really affecting the left, on that side. They're triggered by that because they're fed by that. But us, it's not, we're just standing on the line and looking and watching it dismantle. But again, the word identify, you're good.
Right.
By pushing it away. But yeah, that's that whole reality of change. So yes.
Okay. Thank you. And this is the part where we stand in the land. Stand in the line of fire. If you stand in it, it hurts. It feels physical. You feel ill. But this is the part where your soul really has to give to the last effort. Quick side note on that.
So this is this is that last part where you're like, I cannot fucking do this no more. And this is that illness and the headache and the whole process that you're like, how much more must you bear from me to take from me that I have no more to give? I'm asking you as society, you guys got more. And then we're at that last verge of all of this. And then it's holding the line. And it hurts and it feels physical. And you feel like you're not in your own space. You can't feel your own skin. You can't breathe your own air. But you can do this because you were born to do this. At this last stage of things, I know that you can. As a side note, Jenny had a Bible on her stomach last night going to sleep. Okay?
In order to sleep, right? Yeah.
Right. That's how it can feel.
Yeah.
Being honest about it. Because this is fire behind us, fire on the side of us. What part of the world has not blown up, or swept away? I mean, the whole earth is reacting in this process, cleansing. And here we are standing in the line of fire and watching our whole world completely dissolve. But this is the acknowledgement of the slavery of the world. You were not living in paradise.
Mm-hmm.
You just didn't know it. And now you get to form a new world. So yes, I had a Bible on my stomach last night. Works really well.
What you got to do. You didn't come this far just to come this far.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So they need to listen to the sound. Sound will hit the mind first, and then you'll hear it in the ears.
So the sound is here, and the sound is here. And I think people get confused sometimes because they think there's this back and forth of understanding here, and then there's this understanding of hearing it. But with the pineal gland, this is what people don't understand. There's an activation frequency that you're hearing, and you're trying to hear it for what the outer, but it's inner. It's inner that's coming.
Right.
Okay. Again, being awake and alert, you're going to hear it, and then you're going to look at them, and they're like, they can't hear it. And that's the whole process of this.
Right. The negative and the evil have no place to go on both sides, hell or here. They still have to do the same thing. This is to repeat time over and over and push a boulder in darkness. Nothing good for them.
And that's why they say, if we're going down, we're taking as many down with us. Because they know they're going down.
Okay. Are we doing on time? Good. 104. All right. Do you want to continue with this, or do you want to take a break and do a reading?
We can ask some more questions, and then I can do a reading, and then we'll come back to the second page.
Okay, just checking.
We did tell you guys it was long.
It's okay. All right, let's see. What have I got? Do you believe that very low and devastating times in our lives lead way to lower entity possession?
It is it's a doorway, because that's that weakness. That's that time that you're down is when they feel they can attack, they can try, and this is why people that are addicted to drugs and alcohol and stuff, it's an easy vessel to get through on the weakness and prey onto that. And only at the time that the spirit hits the ground and says it's enough, then they back off. That's the whole thing. The physical needs, because you're looking at the physical vessel, and that is what the negative uses against you. But the spirit inside is a strong being, and it has to scream for its righteousness to take that path. Once they hear that voice and that tone of that realness is like, this is not the choice, they back off. But yes, it is played into that situation.
Okay, thank you. Jump back to the judges. Curious, are they going to go after retired judges and lawyers who are compromised?
Yes, it don't matter. Okay. They were involved. That just because you're retired doesn't mean that you're like, okay, we'll let you live out your golden years, even though you sold us to the devil. No. They're going to pray that they're not on the other side. Anybody that's involved.
Right.
Trump has the red folder.
It's always around, that red folder.
It's always around.
Someone's always carrying it. Okay. Do we volunteer to be born on Earth, or only God ordained?
Some of us don't have a choice. And I don't care what they say, because some of us had memory from way, 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 way before. And then we're just sucked into the situation, and then we were just thrown in here. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they can say whatever they want. You chose this, you chose it. I don't think so. I don't think so. Some of us was not chosen. Because I guess it's different on reality of being chosen to do this, but this is the thing. In that memory that they pulled from us of the ability that we had before we got here, because they erased that process. You know what I'm saying? Some of us got erased. Some of us still have memory from it. And we walk through this, and then we're trying to, with the memory still intact, some of us, we're trying to reconnect the dots faster, at a faster pace, and trying to get back to that same energy. Because a lot of us here, I'm going to tell you this, that are chosen, that remember the place, they're trying to just get back. They're getting back to the memory that they have slices of. And they're like, I got to follow the path to get back to that place again. That is a bigger addiction. It is a bigger calling than anything on this earth. Anything.
Yep.
And that's what the negative fears. Because it's inside us. It keeps us going.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, the real home. Let's see. Should we be concerned about voting, or is that 3D?
It's 3D. It's like a recycled underwear. It just never works the same. It's a saying. Really?
That's so interesting.
That's disgusting. And why?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. That's the way I see it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get the same crap as you did before.
Right. Moki agrees. I don't know. I'm sorry if you can hear her wooing. Sorry, just that's what she does. There we go. Let's see. Do the radicals in Minnesota even know why they're trying to block ice?
They're programmed. They don't know. They have no idea. I mean, if you listen to some of the specific questions they ask, why they're doing it and all that stuff, they don't even know. They can't even answer the question. I'm here because everybody else is here. And they all told us to be here. And they paid us to be stupid too. To be here and get in front of a car that we know physically can harm us. But if we cry and act like we're the victim, we might get our way. It's not working. I can't wait till another level of aggression comes. So the reality that they get to be thrown into Generation X's childhood soon.
Right. We did lose you for a quick second. You kind of glitched with the.
Okay.
I don't know if it was the stream or what, but you glitched just for a quick second. But you know, it's all good. Let's
see.
Reading?
What do you got? Okay, let's do. Let me get the number in my. Oh, they went fast. Okay. I'm going to start from 25 to 60 on the number for the first reading. 25 to 60.
Okay, folks. So if you're in the live chat right now, you have to be in the live chat and you're interested in trying to win a mini reading from Jenny here live. Remember, everyone can hear you. Pick a number between 25 and 60. Type it in the chat. And the first one to get whichever one Jenny picked will get a free mini reading live on the air.
Oh my God. He already got it. 55. That was quick.
55.
God, he did good.
55. Who got 50? Oh, Buck.
Buck. Damn. Right out the door.
Buck already wanted it. 55. Congrats, Buck.
That was quick.
Wow, looks like you got a reading from Jenny. That was fast. Okay, guys. That was quick.
That was quick.
That's all right. Okay, so let's
Buck's
see.
Buck's going to have to call me.
Yep, here you go, Buck. Call Jenny. Here's the number.
I think this is the second one. I'm right about this one.
Well, he's good at picking the numbers.
Yeah.
Here you go, Buck. Oh, Buck's going to give it away.
Okay, let me get my charger, by the way. Hold on.
So Buck's giving it away.
He can decide who he's going to give it to then.
Okay, then you can pick who you want to give it to there, Buck. So just let us know. Very kind of you.
That's why you put a number out there and he's like, wait a minute, I don't want it. I didn't want it. I'm just guessing.
He's just testing his intuition, that's all.
Well, there you go.
Good job. There you go.
Okay, he hasn't said who.
Nope, not yet. Just tag me in the chat there, Buck, so I can see when it pops up easier.
And it was at Frank from...
Oh, LOL, I want it. Okay, Buck, so are you going to take it? If you're taking the reading, Buck, call Jenny now. Do you need the number again?
Call me.
There you go, Buck. Call Jenny. He was probably deciding to give it away, then came up with a question. Sometimes that happens, and that's okay.
I know.
That's all right. Buck decided to take the question, so we're just going to wait for him to call in.
Probably gonna need a pen. Hello, Buck.
Hello.
What are you doing?
To be honest, I do want it, but I really prefer to give it away just because it's only fair. But I'm having trouble deciding who to pick.
Oh, well, maybe okay. But this is the thing. I want you to think about this. I got the number very fast, and you picked it up very fast. So I think it is meant for you to have.
Oh, okay.
So that was extremely fast.
Okay, so all right. I'm sorry, everyone. Well, I know I've had a reading with you before about my job. Well, obviously, I just got let go from my job about 3 weeks ago, right before my birthday. So I got a new celebration. I'm unemployed. So my only concern is, will I find something before the shit hits the fan? Because I do have a little bit of leeway as far as, some money for the severance. But I don't know how long that's going to last me until, so yeah.
March 15th is the timeline I get around starting a new position.
Okay.
So they're already telling me, and were you doing mechanics before?
I was pretty much I was a network analyst. I troubleshooted and repaired telecommunication equipment, like the network part of it, like the network operations.
Okay.
Like, fiber optic and coax cabling.
Right. So what this feels, and I get the colors, it's a dark blue and a white on the company name. It doesn't, they're saying about 5 years they've been around.
That's kind of like the company I was working for, dark blue, light lighting with a little bit of green. They were 5 years, new company. And I thought, being a manager and like the lead tech engineer, I thought I could somewhat grow with the company, but that didn't work out.
Okay. So they're like, I'm trying to, I'm giving you, okay, let me see if there's any more colors I can give you, because they're like, no, that's the past. And they're like, no, this is the future, because you asked about the future. They're like, no.
Yep.
So they're like, let's reinstate blue.
Okay.
White.
And
then there is a slight yellow in there.
Slight yellow. Okay. Blue, white, and yellow.
This is connected to aviation.
Oh, okay.
Aviation.
Blue, white, yellow, and aviation.
Aviation is connected to your field in aviation. In a new process. Ooh, this feels like there's a lot of training going on with this position, so you're gonna have to have a lot of because this is a lot of advancements, a lot of change.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was wondering, should I continue in my field, or should I go a different route where technology is taking us?
Well, I mean, you can put yourself out there but what I'm giving you is they're showing me aviation. So you want to look at your position, and then it has the you're going to be looking for your position with aviation attached to it.
Okay.
So which could be a government program. in this process.
Okay.
So I'm just telling you. What, you're in South Dakota? Are you?
I'm in Greenville, South Carolina.
I used to live there.
I know you say that. You say that all the time when we talk.
I love the drag races they had.
You know they got rid of the Greenville Pickens Speedway.
Really?
Yes.
Gosh.
Yeah. They're joking about redoing the whole thing and probably they're building a lot over here. It's crazy the way they're building up over here, Jenny. It's not the same anymore.
Okay. So you're not attached to staying there then?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so then I won't hurt your feelings when I tell you that I think the company's going to end up moving you.
Okay,
so,
where?
Texas.
Not great, but is it close to the beach?
Well, I'm sure it's going to be where you want, but it says Texas, so that's the main branch area. So I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, because I've been looking for a lot, jobs in Texas. There's a lot of positions I noticed in Texas, but I was a little reluctant.
Nope, that's where that's going to be your technology hub right there.
Yeah, because we all know where that's there could be the where all the finances are going to be.
Yeah. So.
Right.
Yeah. So Texas, baby, that's where you're going.
All right. Well, that would be. I don't sound like a Texas person, but when there's a will, there's a way.
Yes, there is.
Adapt and improvise, and we'll get there.
Exactly. So.
All right, Jenny. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Love you both, and it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
Greenville, South Carolina. It was a great time. Charleston, South Carolina. Oh, when I was 21. Boy, it was fun. Beautiful city, though. Charleston. Loved it.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Let's go to the second page part of it. So
let's see. Back to downloads. We're just bouncing everywhere today, but that's all right. We're good. Keeps everybody on their toes. Okay. Ready? Okay. They're showing me, look at those boxes that they said there would be in oceans again and in the ground. The black boxes you don't want to go near because it's to remove certain items completely off this planet.
You're going to see them on Google Maps again and wonder what's happening with this. And these are compartments, of removing stuff that needed to be removed off this plane for a while. So that's going to be resurfacing again.
Okay. And then you move to Antarctica. And as you pass over Antarctica, and as the plates are shifting open, and these plates are shifting open, it's like a door beneath us that's expanding open. So pay attention to the ocean. Watch the water. You will see things never saw before you, as well as large sounds in the sky.
Correct. So those plates I've talked about in the past, and I've done the design on them, and now these are expanding out, and then whatever is coming to surface is finally coming up from that process. So, and I keep feeling water beneath us coming to the surface and pulling something up. So that's the thing about this. So Antarctica is the key to a lot of areas and to a lot of doors and to a lot of passageways. So how this is going to happen, it's going to be interesting in that, and that's where I'm obsessed with, is Antarctica anyway. So, because I just feel a draw to everything is there. So, and it's going to be the start of it too. So, yeah.
Okay. Pay attention to your pets and animals because they're going to be in sync before us. Remember, I talked about the animals coming down from the mountains and coming into the streets and standing at a still point.
Okay. In a stasis, their frequency has always been tuned into and in the stillness. And everything that resides with the Creator in this vibration at that moment. And that, do the animals go and are drawn into sound and vibration where they are called to? And to see that, it gets people's attention to understand nature's changing, what's going on here.
Right. And that's the same too for the sea creatures.
Yeah.
With everything changing there. Okay. Alrighty. Certain doorways will open that you did not know were there in the mountains. Things that were hidden will now be seen. Structures that were hidden will now be seen.
Yes. So you'll seem to see them in a different reality of your eyes are open in a different way. And the hidden is no longer hidden. And it seems simplified to see it now.
Remember the hum. Most important is when we go from 3D to 5D, the anger, the frustration dissipates because that cannot survive in the light.
Cannot. It cannot.
Okay, a celebration of the heart. You're going to understand what your heart can do, what it's open to, sensing, feeling, because everything that grows is alive upon this planet. And you're going to know that at once. Another Lucy process. You can feel everything. That's when she, when she talks about it in the movie, where you can feel everything in that moment. We will understand that. So if they tell you to go inside, you go outside, and vice versa.
Vice versa. So, yeah.
Because there are things that
they want.
Yeah, there are things that they're not going to want humanity to see in the clouds.
Yes.
I think folks are already starting to see things in the clouds. They're posting them like crazy. Okay. This is where we don't, this is why they're doing these things. All you're seeing, all of a sudden, there's all these plagues and they have all these diseases. And I think that they're trying to say airborne. They're trying to put a fear process out there again. Not that I'm not saying it's real, but I'm telling you they're doing it deliberately. Quick question about that. Someone had asked if, goodness, I just had it here. Some of the chemtrails are actually a type of mind control.
In the past, I could see, but not now.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. On to the next. Remember what I said about NPCs. Once the connection is severed, they're going to fall on the street. I talked about it in New York, how something would come out of the water. Pay attention to that. All the faces that you see on TV are not the original ones. You need to accept that this is an operation of the truth, and they sent many, but not all made it. Search to see the real space and search to see the real sun and have peace. We've walked the bridge. Now it's time to see the gold. It's time to see the gold abundance of life simplified. They're showing me many blue like blue radars in the sky in aqua blue. Expect to see a blue radar from the sky at the water, or it can go either way, from the water to the sky. We are
So
in
let
a
me
new
get into that so they understand what that
Okay.
is. So this is like this aquaness energy that goes in the water and comes out of the ground. It's like plasma, in and out. And so you're going to be, it's like the pink fog. Like, why are we seeing pink fog? Now this is more of an aqua energy that's got a aqua cloud to it, and which is the ground and the ocean in the atmosphere in a very light way. And it's almost, they're showing me like a burst of good oxygen. Like, when you feel it, you're like, whoa, I feel good. What is this? So they're showing me this moving, not replacing our, but moving in sync with our air in that whole process.
Nice.
So.
Okay. We are in a new passageway, is what I'm hearing. Everybody says it's dimension, but it's a passageway. And at the end, the light was always going to win. End of download.
That is it.
For that one.
I'll put this. These downloads will be in Patreon, Telegram, and Signal.
Okay.
So they can read it over again.
Sometimes you need to go over it a couple of times. That's all right.
So we can take some more questions, and I'll go into another reading.
Okay. Let's see. Where are you at with what the percentage of humans are NPCs or non-soul organic beings on Earth?
We're at humans at 35%. The rest, it's all garbage.
Oh boy. Okay. That's kind of sad.
It is sad, but it's true.
Someone says, I haven't seen the pink fog. Does that mean I'm not ascending?
No, there's been fog everywhere. And it has to do with the clouds that people have seen statewide and all that stuff too. So it's not something that you're not seeing. It's been showed up. I mean, last month, and what's it been, a couple months? It's been, I haven't heard about it recently, but I don't know, it was about 2 weeks ago. But no, that doesn't say that you're not ascending.
Okay, thank you. Is there a prison colony on Mars?
Yes.
Okay. Is the weather manipulated everywhere on Earth so the insurance companies and all affiliations can benefit?
I think it's manipulated. I think it was manipulated more in the past than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So insurance is another crock of shit.
Okay. Let's see. If you have a felony now, will it still be on your record when the common law is restored?
Okay, but I think that has to do with the judges and the attorneys that were involved in the cases, and then they have to be, if it's a severe case, that has to be retried. Yeah, because it was not tried on fairness, so it can be changed. Because that was one thing. The principle is on a case of fairness.
Right.
Yeah, so they would have. Yeah, there's a big percentage in prison that should not be in prison.
Right.
And here she is again.
That's okay. Let's see. Do you see any break for seniors regarding property taxes being eliminated and or past property taxes being refunded this year?
I think they should have past property taxes refunded, especially to a certain age group, because they need the money. And then I do believe in the future it's going to be gone. You know, because let me tell you, property tax, we were born on this planet, and who in the hell came along and said, you know what? We're going to charge you. Who are you to charge us to be here on this planet for taxes?
Here's another one. What does the M in the half moon crescent on our palms mean?
M. You know this one. I don't even have to say it.
Oh. The light workers. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got each one. Okay.
Yes, I have 2 M's. So.
And there's the crescent moon too.
Yeah.
Where when you put your hands together, you have the.
Right.
Yeah.
It varies on capabilities.
Yeah. Either way, you're chosen.
Yes.
If you got it, you got 1, you got 2, you got all 3. You're chosen. You're here for a reason. There are orbs of light circulating in the skies on January 7th. I don't know if you remember that one or not. Okay.
No, I didn't know about it. Okay. We have been wanting to look outside lately.
Yeah, it's been tricky. Okay.
Let's do another reading.
All right. How are we doing on time?
Okay.
All right, guys. So do you want to do the same numbers or do you want to change them up?
Oh, they were pretty fast on that one. So when Spirit picked him. So I'm going to be like, okay, they're at another one already. Okay. From 25 to 45.
To 45. Okay, guys, we're going to take a break and do another mini reading. So pick a number between 25 and 45 if you would like to get a chance for a free mini reading, just like Buck did. Question in the meantime. Do we need wills in the positive timeline?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. Here come the numbers.
Billie Jean, you got it. 38.
38, okay.
Billie Jean.
Okay, Billie Jean, I'm putting Jenny's number in here for you. Give her a call for your mini reading. There you go. So wait for that to come in. Let's see. Want to take a quick question?
Sure. Where are we?
Is graphene similar to silver? Can it be used in future technology like silver?
I think it can. I think isn't it a little. It's not as thick. I think it's thinner.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but
it could be. I believe, and this is the thing. They with the silver disappearing, and we don't have enough unless they look and find more. But I'm sure it's way down deep in our planet. But I think there's another material they're going to end up using down the future.
Okay.
So we'll see. We will see.
All right, thank you.
Hello?
Hello?
Is this Billie Jean?
Yes.
This is Jenny.
Hi.
Are you in Fargo?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think I did it. No, I did a reading with you. Like, I think it was I forget what year it was. I think it was like right before COVID. And I had asked you, like, because I at the time I didn't know if I wanted to stay in the cities or like come this way.
Yeah.
And yeah, anyway, I moved Fargo.
Cool. Yeah, I'm in Fargo now too. So,
I've been here for a couple of years now, but my question, I did not expect to get a reading.
that's okay. Just go off your gut. And ask the question.
Okay. The oh shit. Okay.
The what?
Hang on. I had some like a bunch of questions that I had wrote down over time. Hang on.
Okay.
Just
start with the first one.
My kids. Well, it's been a few years, and I'm trying to get back to like reconnecting with them.
Right.
And my daughter, she don't really talk to me as much as like we used to, and like I know I'm just wondering like what's like going on with like them. Like I try to like like conversate with them from time to time. I'll message them, and like we would talk on Snapchat a lot, and then like it's just like the communication is like not there anymore. Like,
well, it's shut down. I just feel emotionally they're shut down. So they're at a phase right now, and I don't feel they're at a phase of being open. I feel like they're at a phase of protecting themselves and not opening. And I feel like it's going to be a little further down the line before they do that. I just feel like they're feeling content and not feeling any chaos in their life right now, and they're just wanting to stay in that process. They're not. Yeah, I'm not feeling them when they're wanting to reach out yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first thing that's hitting.
But they're not in chaos right now, right?
They're not what?
They're in chaos. Like
no, I'm not feeling chaos.
Okay, that's good. That's good because I mean, like a few months ago, my son was like having a hard time, and
right,
like with the in-home environment and everything. But I mean, that was a few months ago. So
yeah, I'm feeling more content and understanding. So I'm not feeling that. I'm feeling, more of a balance process. So I think you have more deeper questions and all that, and then you should probably just text me tomorrow since you're in this area, and then we can figure out something.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay. Give me a call tomorrow.
All right. Cool. All right, thank you.
Bye, hon.
Yeah, bye.
Okay. Okay, let's
we're at
go to
143. A few more questions.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Are the Republicans going to win the midterms? I'm concerned about my state turning blue. I'm in Tennessee.
Does it really matter? You guys understand that the Democratic Party has no money. Everything that they touch and turns to shit. They have nothing behind them. Do you really believe that this is Republican and Democrat anymore? It's down to light and dark. So I don't, and this is the thing. Am I voting? No. Like I said, it doesn't, it is so
the 3D process,
worn out, and it doesn't matter because it's never going to work. It's not a system. This Government is over. Council needs to begin. That's what needs to change. So the illusion of one side of the 3D, and then you have the 5D. So it depends on the day that you want to look at things and how you want to see it. Yeah. So it's a different situation. So I don't feel it's real anymore, and the effect behind it is anymore. Anybody that can stand in line and do that anymore, it's just not the same. Because they have cried wolf, cried wolf, cried wolf, and what's the results of the same game? Higher technology would place a good system that would work efficiently.
Right. Okay, thank you. California, will we have to deal with any more manipulated fires?
I don't think so. I mean, now that they're getting down to making it actually public that they hung Newsom, that I think all of a sudden there's a new governor, all of a sudden now the blue's going to replace him, and then other things going to start to get cleaned up. So there is a gross amount of military in California. People don't understand how many bases are there, and they are pro-Trump. Let me tell you, I live there, and so I think it's the way the condition is and everything. Like, they don't want a Democratic running anything.
Okay. Thank you. Question, truther Dr. Jim Willey has a PhD in mathematics and statistics, and he predicts that 5 to 7K XRP overnight. Your thoughts on this?
True, because remember I said it goes straight up. That is, XRP is ringing in the bell. That XRP is the new system. When that hits, that's the party. That is it. That's what I've said over and over and over. Because once that goes up, the cabal is done. Illuminati's done. The old system's done. The IRS is done. It's done. There's no coming back. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
It's going to be interesting in the next 2 days about the silver. So I am still doing readings on financial for the stock market and everything like that. And that's looking good. And then remote medical and meditation. So those are still options. If you really want to get down to the very hair of your finances and look at everything, you want to set one of those up with me. And another thing is you can go on to Patreon, and what's it, the third? What is it?
Third tier. Tier 3.
Third tier, and get reports weekly for financial information as we move in, because we want everybody to have abundance on this process. Which I got to do a new report tomorrow.
On the list, right?
Yeah, XRP is you guys, that's the golden bell. That's it. And that's why that has to be up for everything to go. And when the dollar drops, the gold's back behind your account already on all of that. So you're good. The paper won't gonna matter. That's why they're telling you paper ain't gonna matter. The gold's back behind it.
Okay. Thank you. Well, everything
for one thing. Once that happens, 24 hours later, I guarantee you're gonna see the medbeds. Ding ding ding, the bell.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Okay, how do we book a financial session with Jenny? Which option do we choose on her website? If you go to Jenny's website and you go to the Order Now button, All of her readings and sessions are there. So just scroll through that, pick what you want, or you can just text Jenny and set it up that way if you know exactly what you want. Put the website in here again.
So that's the whole thing. And I know because I talked to somebody that was already working with the commander out of the West Coast with the facility of the medbeds. It wouldn't be after the XRP and all that. You got to understand, once they're telling you everything is done, the cabal is done, that had to be done before the XRP instated, and guess what's able to release is the medbeds. Military medbeds, not private sector. And then Venezuela money is good. It's going to be good too. It's going to be attached to the United States.
There you go.
Abundance, abundance, abundance. Yes.
Great.
And the Jubilee with that too. Once the XRP brings in everything, then the Jubilee, how they flip the debt on that. And they're talking about what year preferred AI tool now is still on ChatGPT. You got to go to 5.2 on that. And then I go to Grope 2 on that. And I let them compete against each other now. And I want to do a Chinese restaurant one with ChatGPT and Grok arguing on the phones.
That's funny. I wonder if they know they'd be talking to each other.
You.
That is funny.
I have better information than you do. That's what I want. I want to see it.
Right. Okay. The 4 seasons. Here's a question: Are they really natural or are they man-made?
The what? Oh,
the 4 seasons.
I believe they're man-made.
Spring, summer, fall. Okay.
Because every time I get with downloads, it's always tropic. With everything, with Beyond the Ice and all the stuff. They don't ever show me any snow castle things up in the higher dimensions and stuff like that. Everything is tropic. Everything in some of the councils that I see, it's amazing because it does look like the Greek passage time and pillars, and everybody's in just tropic and fresh, most fresh air I've ever felt, ever. Wow. Breeze is clean. So yeah.
Nice.
So
if people want to go skiing, it's probably not much of an option.
Nope. Pick a different sport.
Okay.
Water skiing. Of course they have a higher technology. There's a lot of different type of entertainments that's changing with higher technology stuff that's going on. With the drones are just going to a different capability on things, flying. I saw one today was going through the Grand Canyon, the drone that you can go through and just fly through there and stuff like that. So all that's changing anyway.
Oh, wow. Okay. When do you see the housing market crash in South Australia?
May.
Okay. So instead of picking dates, because people, we know you don't do dates, what do you see between now and July 4th? Possibly popping
technology, vast technology. The market, housing market's going to go low on these tract homes, these apartment mafias. They're going to go down. The advancement of the way houses are built in a content compartment and they deliver. And this is the thing that I would tell the contractors that's going on right now is you better get on this ride of being a subcontractor developing these homes in 2 days versus the ones you're building. It takes 6 months. They're going to be gone. They're not the technology, the way we are living is going to change. And if a contractor does not ride on that, they're going to lose their ass. Everything with building the houses on higher technology now, and the material's different. Your plastic stuff's going out the window. Your cheap siding, anything to do with plastic is going out the window. The way that they build the tract homes is so cheap, and it's awful. Tract homes are the worst, and they can't survive a storm or anything like that. They don't build them by brick. The way they're building these new higher technology homes that you can put up in a couple days, and the tiny homes, that's the whole thing about it. So that's going to change completely. So that whole field of how things are being built, I looked at houses and how the housing is going to go down, and I'm looking at all these neighborhoods, and I'm wondering how much of all these houses are going to be replaced, and how fast, and the way they're living. Because everything was about to suck everything dry, and now it's going to change in the technology of how we live.
Right. Okay. Matt Briss is saying Hobbit House, Tree House. Okay.
Oh, I love that. That'd be nice.
Why not? Okay.
So that was the thing. If they do the financial with everything with the stock market and the house and all that stuff, the portfolio of them, then I go through all that stuff with the housing and all that stuff. And that's why it helps them make those decisions.
In the financial session?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, and this is the thing too, is how we travel. I'm going to tell you, it's the most annoying thing. This is, I think, time change is going to change in where you get on you saw Star Trek and they go from one end to go to somewhere, and then they're just go through a passageway and they're on the other side of where they want to be. That's coming. Travel the way that you think is changing dramatically. And I like I said, Elon Musk I think he's got launching pads that go up, and airports are going to be gone. That's a lot of room to save too. We don't need them no more. So trains, and seeing a lot more travel above you and different capabilities is going to happen too. Drones for security, replacing cops. Bigger system. It's hard to understand that, but it's coming on, because we don't need them all corrupted. Right. And that's the whole thing. It's just, and I heard that ICE is going to start taking them down. So let's go see how that happens. So yeah, everything's flipping and changing. So we're in some interesting times now. A lot of us have been waiting for a while, forever. And then this is the thing too, marriage certificates, birth certificates, all those certificates that we were supposed to have just for the imprisonment process. Massive walkouts of marriages are going to be enormous when people get the funding, because a lot of people are married out of convenience. And then we go back to that free will process of being with somebody on the reason of the soul, not of the finance, not of the abundance of what they can give you, on the abundance of what the soul recycles together. So it's all going to change. All the Cinderella marriage thing is going to go out the window. All of that, because you guys, come on, it doesn't work. It's a setup, and we're all 3D. Very young, 18, 19 years old, making these decisions. We don't know what we're doing. We're following along. So now, free will in a different way, free abundance of what we have, making financial choices on our own, and teaching our kids to make these choices, and not putting pressure on them because society has set it up, the ball and chain in a different way. And now we're free, sovereign to love, purely on love, not on convenience.
Right.
Over that shit. I think everybody is over it. Generation X is over it.
For sure. We're over a lot of things.
We are. We're done.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of good things changing in that way. And then, like I said, how we travel is going to be very convenient, I think, in a different way. So,
and cleaner now than than we do now.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. That would be good. So
okay. We are at 2 hours. Crazy, huh?
Well,
what would you like to do next?
I think this is the ended, but it's been a good night for this information and everything. So the energy, I'm just going to tell you, it's going to be hard. And this is what I said from the beginning when I set up Signal. I said, you better find a place in your house to do your meditation. Do you guys want to know where I've been most last week? In my closet. I have a big closet, and there's my meditation room. And I've told people a long time ago, you better get an area that you just feel safe and that you can feel yourself in there and not feel invaded. And I'm in there doing paperwork in there, but I'm in there because it feels better. The energy's better. It's more confined, and it's just the way it is. So you're going to feel, you find that space in your house, use it, apply it, because we got to still get through this. You got to get through it. So, at the end of this, we'll be happy, but we still have a lot to do. And so holding that line, walking in the line of fire, brushing the dust off. This is, looking at the realities in two different directions is very, very, very important. And not allowing anything to put fear in you because it's completely dying. Everything that is negative is dying. And let's make asylum places great again so we can be safe. Because everybody knows about that hockey player that killed his family. And this is that mental illness process going through, and there's careless, and they don't care about a life. It's just their own needs of what they want. And so this is why we have to go back to that, because they have to be treated. The Democratic Party created this, and now we have to clean it up.
Okay. Very good.
Because it's destructive.
Do you want to take a quick minute before we sign off for the bell?
The bell? Yeah.
Yes. We got to do that.
So let's do the bell on two things. Financial, XRP, and the children who get to go home to the light.
Yes. Okay, guys. Going to take a minute to ring the bell. Ring them if you got them.
Okay, guys, if you got doubts, you're not sure, set up an appointment with me, get your information. I don't care how bad it is, how deep it is, I can handle it. So, we want to all get through this. I want everybody to have abundance, have money, grow with this world, change, pick the humanity project that you've got to do. But we're in this world to change it now. This is not limited now. This world is out there for abundance. So don't be afraid to walk in that path.
Mm-hmm.
So stay in the light. You guys have a good night. Take care.
Good night, guys.